The second day in a row, the White House had to do more damage control after the president this afternoon appeared to say the Russians are no longer a threat to the U.S. Watch.
Is Russia still targeting the U.S.? Is Russia still targeting the U.S., Mr. President?
Correct. Let's go. Make your way out.
No, you don't believe that to be the case? Let's go.
President Trump's opponents flipped out, as did some career intelligence experts who claim Russia is still very much a threat. A few hours later, the administration tried to straighten things out again, claiming the president was actually saying no to any more questions. And then White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders told reporters that the president is fully aware that Russia is still up to no good. My goodness.
He does believe that they would target certainly U.S. elections again.
Between the president and the DNI codes who said the red lights are blinking on this topic.
No, as I just said, that's why we're taking steps to ensure that these things don't happen again. We wouldn't actually spend as much time and effort as we are if we didn't believe that they were still looking at us.
Oh, they're very much looking. So if you were the communications director at the White House, how would you right this ship? And are the president's opponents overreacting? There's only one person to ask, and that's former White House communications director Anthony Scaramucci.
Only one person.
You're the only person in the world who can answer this. What would you do if this was going on under your command right now?
Well, first of all, Sarah's doing a great job.
I agree.
I think she
has a tough job.
Unbelievably professional, arguably one of the hardest jobs in the world. So my hat's off to her. I know Bill will do a good job. You and I have a long relationship with Bill. He'll do a great job. But I think what has to happen now is everybody should take a little bit of a chill, okay? Because we've got a president that just came back. He's got historic things going on that are actually really working. There's been a few kerfuffles, so it's really not that big of a deal.
In baseball, you would call them unforced errors.
Yeah, unforced errors.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, you swing and a miss at a few things, but it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, he's got the great macro things going in his favor. I'm very happy that he walked it back a little bit. I know he's upset at people for criticizing him, but let's face it, we don't need the intelligence agencies, many of these people who voted for the president, that genuinely like the president in the rank and file, to be disparaged because the tippy top took some political shots at the president and weaponized
and
those agencies.
maybe a lot of those people aren't there anymore.
Correct. And so what I would also say is, we're spending billions of dollars a year to acquire intelligence, and we've got many people are dying for the acquisition of information so that you and I can stay safe here in Manhattan. And I think the president recognizes all that, so I'm very happy that he walked it back a little.
He walks it back, but then he walks it forward again.
He can't help himself.
That's what's so tough, and that's what makes your job, when you were doing that at the White House, and Sarah Sanders' job so difficult, is everyone else seems to be on the same page.
Have you seen the
John
movie?
Bolton, congressional Republicans, the communications department at the White House, they all know the same thing. They know what was in that briefing book.
Right.
But the president can't.
You can't help himself because, you remember the movie Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey? The president's starring in the movie Apology. Okay, he has a hard time saying that he's sorry. Okay, so he can't get it out. And the reason why, he's had a 50-year phenomenal career, okay? Unbelievable real estate guy, great brander, unbelievable television star, goes from a business executive to the American presidency in 17 months. And he did that on a no apology tour, okay? Someone told him very early on, whether it was his father, Roy Cohn, don't apologize, operate off the front part of your foot and be super aggressive. And if someone's hitting you, don't apologize, hit them back. And so
I understand that, and that is a very valuable way of operating.
Yes.
However, my friend Creighton Webb in high school gave me some very valuable advice. Don't do anything you have to apologize for.
Were you crushing on Creighton? No. Just a friend?
No, we were actually friends.
All right.
He introduced me to the teen Republicans.
So here's the thing I would say, because I've had the education of my lifetime. I had an education in 11 days, and then my 12th day, metaphorically, which has been the last year, where I had to come out of the media morass. I've had the education of a lifetime. And so what I would say to the president here is this is a different job than the other jobs that you've had. And so we've got to adapt your communication style and adapt your political skill set. We've got to take your unbelievable political instincts and marry them to great messaging. And so let's rely on people like Bill Shine, Sarah Sanders, and Huckabee Sanders, et cetera.
What they have in common is they are very calm in chaotic situations.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the president creates chaos sometimes. Sometimes he does it on purpose to great effect.
Yes.
Other times, like you said, he can't help himself because there is a part of this where he knows he's right, and I think that's where the frustration comes from.
Yeah.
But I also think he could do a better job differentiating so he doesn't say dumb things and then have to apologize.
So I totally agree with all that, but I just want to add something because this is super important to understand the dynamic of Russia. American people have to understand they're covering 11 time zones. They control the largest landmass in the world, and they can take the United States out in 35 minutes. And so when you're reading the presidential daily briefing, the existential threat to the United States is the Russians. That's what it's been since 1958. And so the president is a very sharp guy. He knows he has to bring down the tensions with the Russians.
Then
so he has to come up with
there's a way of bringing down
Rubik's
tension
Cube.
while also recognizing that they do pose a threat. They don't pose the kind of economic threat that they once used.
No, they don't. They're less than 8% of our GDP. But there's a dial on the Rubik's Cube where the squares line up in a way where the president gets a de-escalation with Vladimir Putin. They get some things done in Syria, which is super important to the Middle East peace process. They get some help in Iran.
I don't trust Russia in Syria, and I think they're responsible for some of those chemical attacks that have so disgusted our president.
I don't trust Russia in Syria, but as the military would tell you, the Obama administration let the Russians back into the Middle East. Henry Kissinger, Dr. Kissinger begged them not to do that. They're back in the Middle East. They are a player on the ground in Syria. Bibi Netanyahu went to the May Day parade and sat next to Vladimir Putin because of this. And they're there now, and this is the hand, this is the cards that the president's been dealt with. So he has to play that hand. And so whether people like it or not, he's got to come up with a...
Will he clean it up?
President Trump?
Yes.
100% he will clean it up.
How long will it take? Because we're still talking about it.
It will take longer if he doesn't dial into the right communications plan. It'll take shorter if he does, but he's got the right strategy and he's got the right instincts. If he could just, he's got an arbitrage right now. There's a spread between how he's communicating and what he's thinking, what his intuition is. If he can close that gap, he's going to get a lot done. He's gotten so much done in the last 18 months. He'll get an enormous amount done in the next year. But we got to close that gap now because he's got media hysteria, Trump derangement syndrome, and if you have less unforced errors, you're going to have less of that nonsense to deal with going into the midterms.
And you're going to maintain that critical support that Republicans have given him, and he also needs some independents who have gotten used to a little bit of the nonsense, and now they just want things to go
100%.
a little bit more smoothly.
That's why he had to restyle himself after the
Scaramucci making a big in-person appearance right here
this is
on the
fantastic.
Canadelia
I mean,
show.
you get the best set, you have the best personality. I mean, what's not to like here?
I don't know. Can I have like 5?
And I almost outed your high school boyfriend, which would have been breaking news
really
all over the world. It would have been
Especially
breaking news.
him
I
and
was
his
that close. If I had another 2 minutes, I would have gotten it.
Anthony, good to see you.
All right, great being here.